Hi guys, what's up? I got my good friend Jeff from Skinz here. Jeff's going to be helping me. Well, actually, Jeff, you know, you've installed more bumpers than I have. We're really excited about this new product for all you guys who have your new Matryxes and are looking for a little bit more stability back in the back with the tunnel and love doing those re-entries and landing on your face like Kyle does back there. You might want to look into giving your rear tunnel a little bit more support. And with that, Jeff, give us a quick product review.
Okay, so first thing is our side plate. Our side plate's slimline. We've got forms at the top and then bends. So the side plate goes on, very simple. It uses the OEM holes, and then the rear bumper grab goes on and ties it all together. One thing about the OEM is the OEM doesn't have fasteners in what we think is a couple of key positions, and we've added fasteners in those areas.
All right, so the cool thing on the install, it is very straightforward and really basic. So a couple just essential tools. We'll be using a Torx T25 to get the bolts out from underneath what attaches it from the tunnel to the bumper. These two bolts back here on the back, they're a little bit of a pain in the butt. We like to use this little 90-degree T25. It's not hard, it just takes a little bit of time. You can actually push the flap down, we'll show you that. For the reflectors, we just use a little screwdriver here. Sometimes the adhesive will stay on the tunnel. You can kind of just roll that off with your finger. And then real simple, 1/4-inch drill bit to drill out the factory holes where the bumper goes in, and then a 3/16 bit for the couple additional holes that we'll have for the rivets, which again, you'll need the rivet gun. So let's dive in.
Okay, so the first thing is that we think is best is to get these two rear bolts out first. And you just gotta, be patient and get them out. And so you just work at it. They're a little tight in the beginning, but then they work themselves loose. So you can just work at it and get them out.
Yeah, and once you crack them initially, they can literally come out finger loose like I'm doing right now. And then once we have these two out, then we'll move to the screws underneath the tunnel. All right, one thing you want to be mindful when you're taking off the screws from the inside of the tunnel, it's kind of an awkward angle, so you want to make sure that you don't strip those screws. That could end up being kind of a little frustrating. All right guys, so we got the two screws up on top and we got the few screws underneath. So now our stock bumper comes off. And so one thing that I'm gonna let Jeff address here is he was talking about the distance between the bolt mounting on the bumper. Jeff?
Yeah, so I think once the bumper's off, you can see how this flexes. And I think the issue is that they don't have a bolt from here down to here.
Yeah,
and
so
what we want to do
here
is we want to tie all this together in a triangle in every direction. So that's why we add two bolts here. We have this bolt and then we have these, but we reinforce this whole corner. And then that's what I think we're giving the benefit to the whole thing.
Gives the strength. So, all right, with our rear bumper off, Jeff, what's our next step? We got
reflectors.
Yep, reflectors. Yep, so with the reflector, obviously we're covering this portion of the tunnel with our bumper, but you can still be mindful. You're basically just getting that corner to pop and then pulling this and yeah, this one came off pretty good. We got a couple little sticky pieces here. You can roll those off with the finger. Nice clean tunnel. So now, Jeff, what's our next step?
Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take a 1/4-inch drill bit. And we're gonna, let me get on this side here.
Yep.
We're gonna drill all the OEM holes out to 1/4-inch.
All right guys, now that we got our rear bumper off, in addition to taking the reflector off, one thing that is a pet peeve of mine is guys who leave their stickers on underneath so you can see them through the bumper. That's terrible. Take the time. On this particular one, I'm going to take this 155 sticker off so you can't see parts and pieces of that sticker through the bumper. All right, guys, so now we're putting the side plates on. On a 155, you got 3 bolts, and then we'll get to the rivets here in a second. But 3 bolts mounting the side plate to the side of the tunnel in the OEM holes. All right, once you got your bolts in on the side plate, we do not tighten those quite yet. We leave everything loose until we get the back bumper piece bolted up. This is, and then just to note, and it says this in the instructions, so there's different length bolts. You'll want to run the short ones in on the side plates here so they don't interfere with the track, and then the longer bolts are going to go
double layer
on the double layer of the bracket and the bumper.
So we're only putting in the rear 2 bolts right now.
And sometimes, especially, I could see this where if you're going through 3 different plates here, it may require just a quick pass through with the drill bit. Yeah, and again, with three pieces of metal there, just lining everything up, a quick pass through on the drill bit helps. Okay.
Keep these loose.
We'll also keep these loose, just finger tight.
Okay, the next thing, since we're adding these 2 holes in through the tunnel, we're going to drill those. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make sure the bottom is flush. And then we're gonna line this up. We're gonna let the holes in both plates give us a guide. So that's the one. You can drill your side.
Okay. All right, guys, so to reiterate, when you're drilling these 2 holes, you wanna make sure that the bumper is flush with the bracket. Or the mounting plate.
Bottom.
Yeah, the bottom. So I'm just basically holding it flush with my thumb. And so that is a new hole that's going through the tunnel to sandwich everything together. And this will be a long bolt also. And again, the long bolts are for when you're going through the double layer there and the tunnel.
And then we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the front hole. We're gonna just use this as a guide, and we're gonna drill all the way through.
So now that we have both the plates and the bumper in place, all our holes are drilled, we're gonna start tightening stuff up, and then we'll drill our holes for the rivets. Jeff, you just said we'll start with the bolts on the plate.
On the plates.
Yep. All right, so while Jeff tightens up that other side, I'm going to drill the last 4 remaining holes, and this will be where we tie everything together with the rivets on the side plates. And as you've seen and heard me say in many videos, if you don't own one of these, this is like the ultimate Christmas gift that you need to tell your wife to get you, okay? You need to get one of these. All right, guys, now that we have the side plate all tied in with both the bolts tightened and the rivets, now it's just a few more bolts here to tighten for the bumper to the plate. So now that I got the 3 down here, we just have the one at the top here. We'll use a 10mm wrench here, and this will tie us in. All right, guys, so the beauty of this thing is it's a quick 15-minute install. It helps strengthen and give the back of the chassis a little bit of rigidity for you guys who love doing those bow ties and re-entries on this sweet short tunnel Matryx chassis. Again, just to kind of reiterate, it's awesome that everything is streamlined, uses the factory bolts, and puts strength into the chassis and the tunnel where it needs to.